Hey, this is Damien, and you are at the Killer Be Killed podcast. And this week we are looking at an NFL player who gets his lunch packed at Walmart and nutrition and training for those of us over 50. So thanks for finding us, and let me let George in, see what he's doing. Hey, man.
Hey, how's it going, my man?
It's going well, dude. How are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. Just still in lockdown, so
Oh,
what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
oh, bro. How's your mom?
She's doing all right. She's doing okay. I mean, getting older, right? Things don't always go the way you want them to go, but
Yeah.
yeah.
So we're coming off an Easter weekend. We haven't been on for a few weeks, so well, we're back, and this is what we're doing. So today I want to talk about a couple things. I know we touched on first. I don't know if you saw there's a former NFL player that got looked like he got his ass kicked by a Walmart employee. There was an argument. Obviously, don't know. I don't know what precipitated it, but you will see in the video that guy comes out and just lays a smackdown on this dude. And this is clearly, clearly a huge size difference. So yeah, let's let me get a share on, and let's take a look at this. Hopefully, the commentary will come through, but from the people who are the girls who are recording it, because it's freaking funny. Well, how does that it? Okay, no application, no Chrome tab. All right, that's what I want. Let me know. Can you see that?
I can see it.
Okay, great.
I don't know what that nigga problem is, but he looking like he got a motherfucking rock. Come do something. Come do something. I don't give a fuck where you at.
Okay, so first, this dude is huge.
Yeah, he's a big boy.
And there's one thing you should know about professional athletes, and been coaching and competing in various things throughout my life, and even the worst guy in the NFL is better than anybody you knew in high school. So, you're looking at, these guys are like serious. The guy who's the practice player scrub was better than the anyone you heard about. All right. So to get to that point, you're a special human being and gifted physically, at least physically and somewhat mentally. If you play in the NFL, you've got to have like some serious, it's not like you just show up and play. The guys that do that don't last very long.
Yeah.
Right. There's a lot of studying involved. There's a lot of, preparation that goes into it. You got to take care of your body. There's nutrition. Look, in the United States, there are three major tier sports that grab all the population. They're football, basketball, baseball. Other countries, it's different, obviously, but here you get the vast majority of people that do this. I wrestled because I couldn't play basketball, and then you did do something in the winter. I was awful. Believe me, if I could play basketball, I would have played basketball. So, these guys, that the mass amount of population that plays those three keystone sports, dwarfs, people will argue about lacrosse. People go, no. There's no money on the professional level to speak of compared to these guys. So these guys are, when it comes to athletes in the United States, the best of the best. Yeah. So this guy is a serious dude. And he's pissed off, and we're going to find out exactly how. This is freaking funny. All right. I'll just shut up.
Who do you think will win? I don't know. Black dude look a little gangster. This dude look a little swole, though. I don't know.
He's been scrapping since he was little.
Dude look like he's gonna pull out the blick. This dude look like he got hands. This nigga look like he got hands though. Look, they come on.
All right. So right now, while this fight is happening in the street, it's not this is kind of just a modified boxing match.
Yeah.
right? I mean, these guys are not real. I mean, look, someone who's smart is going to try to diffuse the situation. There's too many witnesses going around. This is all ego, bravado. Doesn't make it, less dangerous. I mean, you're still going to get hurt, so, and there's still a risk of, getting seriously injured or killed. But the general intent here is two guys having a beef, duking it out.
Yep.
Come on, swing. Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, that's right. That's right.
Oh,
Okay. So, start. Where did they come out here? What number's that? All right.
you're gonna get about 25 seconds. Yeah.
Okay. Just a note. See who actually swings first. Now, I can't. It's hard to make out. All right. Hold on. Let me pause this for a second. Okay, so the little guy just, again, attacks, keeps attacking.
Yeah.
Right? Doesn't pause, just keeps going. The big guy, I'm going to tell you that if he's an NFL offensive lineman, all right, and he did a basic run block on this guy, which means active hands, active feet, run through him, grab him, and just drive him over something, he would have annihilated him.
Yep.
But for some reason, he chose to box. And I'm not going to say, I can't, look at this guy again. It's a street, it's a real fight. Guy's adrenaline is going, so they're not going to be like crazy, crisp punches. But the little guy had somewhat confidence in his ability to take out the big guy.
Yeah.
And also you notice where he's striking him, he's hitting him right on the button. So the big guy gets locked into driving forward and going at him. Doesn't really have a real punch or attack to speak of. It just kind of comes out in this like push punch, which happens to a lot of people.
Yes.
The vast majority of people. If you're not trained, or you're not, like when I say trained, like really develop the muscle memory to deliver a blow under the fight or flight, stress, SNS activation, then, you're going to, that's what it's going to look like. That's what it's going to look like. So, and again, I don't, we've been, conditioned to like fight like that. If you don't know how to fight, or you really don't fight, that's what you're going to look like.
Yep.
And the guy who won was the guy who actually, I would say, swung first, because the big guy came at him first and did that push kind of punch. And then, little guy just stuck with one, just kept punching him and trying to punch him in the head.
Yep.
And was relentless, and it worked. I mean, yeah, man. This guy,
Who do you think will win? I don't know. Black dude look a little gangster. This dude look a little swole though. I don't know. He's been scrapping since
I mean, that guy looks like he's about 6'5".
This nigga look like he got hands on.
This guy looks like he's like 5'8". Okay, so Smooth surface. I think it looks like he just tripped. Again, we talk about picking up your feet. We talk about when you're taking ground, and this guy's wearing tennis shoes on a smooth surface. Shouldn't be a problem. He's getting tagged now. Still up, and he knows, and he's got it in his mind to attack. But here he's tripped. I don't know if he got hit. Maybe he got hit in the side of the neck.
Yeah, like a little slap upside the head. Yep.
That could have done it. Caused his feet to fumble. And look, big guy's like, he's in. His mind is telling him to do one thing over and over and over again, and that is to keep moving forward and attacking. He's trying to get his balance. He still knows to come back, and boom, then he got clocked again. Now it's done. Yeah, so yeah, man. I just gotta, I gotta tell you, you gotta, you're looking at this stuff, and listen, everybody's got a plan until the shit goes down, right?
Yep.
If you asked, if anyone looking at that would say the little guy's gonna get his ass kicked.
Yeah.
Right. And clearly not the case. And all he did was what? Left and a right. Not even it's basically a left cross and a right cross. It wasn't like he was boxing him. He was the one that was a little bit more under control than the other guy.
Yeah.
And again, I can't stress this enough. I mean, the professional football player in the United States, especially a lineman, is these guys are big, strong, violent, athletic guys. They have to be. They need good feet. They need good hands. They need to be able to fucking move. They need to be able to get into their guy. This guy tried to box. And clearly, somewhere along the line, someone told him he thought he could.
Yeah.
Again, you're looking at, a smaller guy taking out a bigger guy with, it did look like that guy was, an Olympic boxer, a professional boxer by any stretch, but definitely a street fighter for sure. He had the confidence and the wherewithal to go up against that guy, knowing he's like, hey, I know what I got to do, and I'm just going to do it. And he lit him up like Christmas. Yes.
I just enjoyed the commentary.
Yeah, the commentary is the best. This dude looks swole.
Yeah.
He's
gangster.
Gangster. Fucking awesome, man. Awesome. So, yeah. So, again, we talk about, there's big, scary people out there, but they've got buttons to push. And that guy just clipped him in the side of the neck, ear, chin, jaw, the mustache line. Like, guys, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, shit. Again, obviously we don't know what precipitated that argument. And again, I think the premise or whatever it is stupid. Because, there's no reason to get, physically violent unless your life is being threatened. But again, you don't have to take shit from anybody. And,
right.
But there's nothing that can't be resolved with, talking about it. Well, no, that's not true. I lie. Violence isn't the only option but it's an option.
That's right.
So, anything, you're looking at, again, these guys squaring off, typical. Do you think that was granted, the dude mounted him at the end to kind of really put but I guess the guy's, the big guy's girlfriend jumped in and looks like she put a kibosh to it.
Yeah, she was all happy to video it when she thought that he was gonna mash the other fucking guy. But as soon as her man was getting it, she was like right in there.
Oh yeah, right. And again, how long was that?
Yeah, I think like 20 seconds.
Maybe. Yeah, that's it. So that's how long it lasts. And the thing is, you never know, what's going to come out of you when when it happens. So this is why we're very, very specific in what we train and how we train. And this is why you can't get too confused with too many too many techniques or too many options.
Yeah.
Because people are talking about, one of the guys posted the other day talking about with I don't know if it was a knife fighting, just something about wiggling the blade to release it from your target. So, and while I understand why, because I've heard that before. The reason is, you're stabbing. If you stab deep, it could get caught in bone. The wound will close up, and the body will actually suck it in. So people are wiggling it and moving it. I said, yeah. I go, that's fine. But if you have, this is why we use T-handles and finger blades and things that like obviously have a hilt on them. But if you have something that you can grip, like I think I got one here. No, it's upstairs. Nope. It's got it. There we go. Look at what I was talking about. It's like something you can grip. So then you don't have to worry about wiggling the blade. You're just gripping onto this, and you're ripping it out. And that's it. This is why, like, I definitely, suggest this, especially if you don't have a good grip. So you can, the knife will tell you how to grab it. It doesn't matter, which finger you're going into. I would even like this if it was just, didn't have all this fancy stuff, but it's fine. It's actually, I've worked with this. This thing is like, you ain't letting go. It's not coming out of your hand. But it's like training that habit of, even thinking about wiggling the blade. It's like, again, I'm like always trying to eliminate stuff from the technique. Because eliminate stuff that you do, even little things like that, because who the hell knows? I don't know. I can't predict what your mind's going to do and your body's going to, what your body's going to do after you tell it, okay, I got to wiggle the blade. I got to do, all this other shit. It's hard enough to actually get, protect the knife and to plunge it into your target. I mean, and that's why, we practice, the way we do with the actually stabbing things. So, So anyway, the other thing I wanted to talk about was, training and nutrition, especially, I'm 53, just turned 53 this month. And I've, had I have a relationship with, weight. I've always trained. I've always worked out. I've always done something. There's probably a handful of stretches in my life. I mean, after I got cancer when I was 50, and then probably my second semester of my senior year in college, where I specifically didn't work out and got as fat as I possibly could.
Yeah.
Because I was like, this is the last time I'm doing this. Now, don't ask me why I decided just to do that, but I did, and I was a slob. But there have been 4 times in my life I've been out of shape, like really out of shape. One is after I hurt my knee my senior year in high school. All I did was eat and lift weights I got real big, strong, but fat. I was about I can get up to like 220. That's like my fat max. I'm a really thick build. I got ass and legs. I have no problem putting on size. And then after that, I got down. There was another time in my then it was like, then I'd hover around 200. Then I was competing in my 30s at 178 in judo. Was there for a while. Came back up like 6 years ago. So yeah, I was like, I started coming up about 5 years ago, 6 years ago. I was around 200. And then recently, this past year, I probably got up to like 220. So right now I'm at 198, going down, and a couple things, I want to talk about it with as far as, training, nutrition, and how people should approach this. Also, coming in through coaching with with the kid, coaching kids, understanding what new training techniques and attitudes that they're using, and even what eating methods. The first thing is, for all this is nutrition. I mean, without nutrition, you could all the working out in the world doesn't freaking matter. And yeah, drink water. Yeah, do all that. But really, what I started doing was intermittent fasting.
Yep.
First, I mean, it's funny because I reflected back on how I, on my life with making weight. So I wrestled since, excuse me, I was in second grade. Really didn't start trying to make weight until I was like 8th grade. And then, 9th grade, college, and then later on with judo, to make weight. And it was really, technically, I was doing intermittent fasting. So, that's, going, my window I started with an 8-hour window. Now I'm down to like a 2-hour window. And then I'll do, and then once I have and then I've kind of modified, and then I've added like a little keto to it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So it's like avoiding carbs, sugar, refined carbs, shit like that, heavy protein, and then like I'll work out during the day, and then like at night is when I'll feed. Right. So a couple guys on Rogan talking about this, which, it all kind of makes sense. And that's what my body, responds to. So I know, George, you were doing some stuff.
Yeah, the intermittent fasting is definitely the way to go. I mean, I was on the 16-8, right? So 8 hours during the day between 10 and 4. Was that 10, 6? Whatever the
Right.
time is during the day, right? And then the rest of the time you're not. Now, I didn't go heavy into keto or anything like that, but results would probably be a lot better if I did.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at it as I've got to get down. I've got about like 12 more pounds to lose to get to where I'm like actually like where I should be. And then it will be, and then from then on, it's management, which, you lose control of. But if you're off for one day, like you go out drinking, or you go out, you just, fucking have every cheat day. You need like 4 days to correct it.
Yeah.
So now it's a matter of how, I'm managing it and living in my lifestyle. Don't get me wrong. It's like where, I drank and, to the point where I was like, okay, maybe a little too much. So, I dropped that back tremendously. I really, then it's, now it's it took me about 3 days sucked.
Yep.
And then it takes about 3 to 4 weeks, like no shit, to kind of get it. So I started with this wide window, and then I shut it down. I think yesterday I only ate for like an hour and a half. And then it was, that's it. Now I don't eat until later. So now knowing that, and I really didn't want to get in something that was too restrictive of what I could eat because I'm not really good at you know, I don't feel like tracking like a ton of calories and shit, right?
Yeah.
But I know it's like if I eat meat, animal fat, stay away from refined carbohydrates, stay away from sugar. And we had Easter too, and I ate, but again, when it hit like I ate from like 12 to like 2, and then I was done. I think I had like 4 burns. But it's amazing though. It's like after I lost the first like 20 plus pounds, shit that I thought was going bad on me didn't hurt anymore. Like my knees, like I could sleep better, like all this stuff that was going on, went away and allowed me to work out, better. But now when I'm telling, like the other thing that has changed, it's funny. Like you ask like power lifters when they max, and they'll tell you, yeah, twice a year at the nationals and at the worlds. So like, I still obviously, I'm doing the combatives, once a week, with training and hitting things and strangling stuff and things like that. But like my intensity level is a little bit more controlled. Like there are times where I'll like, just because I'm hitting, I want to like hit as hard as I can. But then really like I'm going at like 80%. Because again, there's a psychological advantage to it too. It's like because if you go into every workout thinking like, that one more rep mentality, like you got to go to like until like you can't go anymore. It's part of you that's just really not going to want to work out.
Yeah.
And the Europeans that the Russians and Europeans that I've been exposed to through wrestling and judo were more, they would roll for hours. And the Brazilians do this too. There's definitely that influence where these guys will just go for hours. Americans have a tendency to go in there, be like, let's go. Fucking just, go till you puke, to do it. They're like technique. They'll go, they'll roll, they'll chill out. They'll do their shit, and it's just kind of more of a relaxed attitude and it'll take longer, but they're able to do it more often. Where if like you go in there and you kill yourself in the gym, like kill yourself, you'll be sore for like 2 or 3 days.
That's right.
Right. So, those are like 2 or 3 days you could have been working out. So while you worked out like 2 hours very hard or an hour very hard, you could have worked out 6 hours at a comfortable pace. You get your heart rate up, you do your things like so. Even now, even with lifting, I'll lift, 3 to 6 reps, like maybe go 80%, and then stay there for several weeks until the weight gets very easy, and then I'll do a bigger jump up, as opposed to, okay, go put 2.5 pounds on. Okay, go till you did. Then okay, another 2. Okay, fail. Okay, drop down. Now drop the weight down.
Yeah.
Because especially as we get older, but I see my sons would do it too with football training. Is that you don't want to you want to avoid injury and you want to look at longevity. So going in there thinking you're going to kill yourself, it's not a long-term solution by any stretch. So you've got to like go in and be like, okay, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this for, however, how many sets, So if I'm doing combatives, I'm doing a circuit, maybe like a 10 circuit set of combinations and skills. If I'm lifting and doing a body part, or I'm doing, let's just say I'm doing deadlifts. Let's call it a deadlift day. So I'm doing like 8 to 10 sets of deadlift, and then like with 3 to 6 reps, and then I'm doing 1 or 2 supplement exercises, like 4 sets, same reps, but now I'm spacing them a few minutes apart, and then like 4 or 5 minutes, and if I get bored in between, I'll superset with something else.
Yeah.
like I'll work another body part. So, but again, you should be out of the gym within an hour. I think, the tendency to kind of live there and just, work out more often and then not, because you're injured or, and that's when the injuries come too.
Right.
When you're freaking pushing yourself. I mean, the only time you should really go 100% is in an actual fight or in competition, right? I mean,
Right.
that's it. So the guys that you want to last long in this world, that's what you got to do, but you got to do something. The hardest part is just getting that ball rolling. So if I were to recommend anything, it would be start with try to start that 8-hour window. Try to eliminate carbs, processed sugar, and just get that shit out of your life.
Yep.
Because what happens is it's like, and again, I'm not a nutritionist, but this is just the information I've gathered. So please, there's plenty of places to look it up. It's all about your insulin levels, and in order your body to, and this is nothing anybody knows, but in order for your body to really process your fat, it's like you got to stop looking for and what's it, glycogen. So though, again, I'm getting way over my head right now, but there'll be some, especially if you do intermittent fasting first, there's going to be some attack on the muscles, but it's very, it's for a short period of time and you gain that back anyway. So I'm just saying for like, what you want, to get your body to start really kind of processing the fat and, also getting, killing all the, eating all the dead cells and broken DNA chains that are in your body, in your system, that's what you have to do. And you really don't achieve that, if you're eating 3 meals a day.
Right.
Because you're constantly having food. I mean, think about this. And, if we couldn't operate or do things, if we were hungry as a species, we would die. Look at all these survival shows. Look at all these Naked or Afraid, whatever shit. Guys with people out there and operating on like minimum calories, like a couple hundred calories a day, and hunting and fishing. And one of my favorite shows. You ever watch the show Alone?
No, I haven't.
Okay. Basically, what they do is they take you out and they take they train, they get some survivalists and then they actually train them and they put them in the, wilderness, separated from everybody else. And it's like last person standing type deal, but you'll see like how they manage your calories and, what the body can actually do, and how long you can survive. I mean, we just have this ungodly abundance of food around.
That's right.
So it's very easy to, and our bodies are trained. We're trained to overeat because we don't know when we're going to eat again, right? Think about it. You hunt, oh my God, we caught something. Okay, eat. And then you got this fat storage, which is great because that's what's going to sustain you until the next hunt. But now it's just, everything is just here.
Yep.
So yeah, I would start with the intermittent fasting. I'd get rid of that shit and, like the carbs and the sugars, and then add, pick like an hour of day of exercise, of doing something.
Yes.
Right. And just set out whatever it is, whether it's walking, combative training, lifting weights, whatever. Just do something physical, get your heart rate up, get the endorphins going, and that'll be a start. And then see how long you can go and then try to close that window. Right. And then look, 3 days, 3 weeks. It took me like 4 or 5 days to kind of get the shit in motion. And obviously, if you're, alcohol consumption, again, yeah, it can convert to sugar, man. It's like, you gotta, if you're gonna do that, drink a bourbon, it's got no carbohydrates in it, but still, again, the alcohol does have an effect on your body. So, it fucks with your chemistry. So again, that's like, I mean, yeah, I'm going to tell you, like, I thought that my knees were going to have to be replaced. I thought a bunch of shit. And no, I'm like running again, and I didn't think I was going to be able to, I thought those days were freaking gone. So yeah, I know. But again, a little off topic, but I really kind of wanted to share that with, with everybody, because I think, most of our membership is in this age group, and they are, trying to figure out, especially if you're like a former athlete, man, it's tough, because the last time you worked out, you were probably in really good fucking shape.
Yep.
And then you come back and you're doing the shit, and it's like, but I'll tell you right now, my warm up, my workout is like almost like my warm up was. Not saying that I can't get there again, because I got to tell you, I'm like, feeling froggy,
That's right.
But it's like, hell, man, it's, so I, just freaking, set those like small little goals of an hour and 8 hour window to eat, and then get rid of the other, carbs and shit. And then eventually, like when you get down, you'll be able to have a cheat day, go eat whatever you want. And then just know that next 2 to 4 days, you got to just be back on your shit, or else
Exactly.
it's creeping up again. There's no way around it. So this is it. Again, I'm not going to say, you can eat whatever you want, to do it, because you can't, but you'll eat enough to be more than full. There are like a couple times during the day where I'll still get a little hungry. Like one is in the middle of the night, and then one is like about now. But then it just goes away.
Yeah.
And then okay. Then when it's time to feed, I go to it, and it's done. And that's it. So, all right. That's it. Anything else to add, George?
No, man, I think you just, covered it all. That was some really good information for everybody to plug into. So
Yeah, again, riveted. You were overwhelming me with your commentary.
yes, I
Dude, what the hell?
I've taken a few notes here for myself too, right? Because at the end of the day, it's being in this lockdown, going through this, pandemic, man, people are putting on weight. They're not as active as they want to be. Our gyms aren't open, right? So it lacks a lot of motivation for people to actually do shit. So it's good to put that out there to people, man, to give them a plan.
Yeah, it's depressing.
Yeah.
But it's springtime now, and here we go. One thing, it's like, yeah, we call it the COVID-19 because you gained fucking 19 pounds.
Yeah.
So
every fucking lockdown.
Yeah, right. And you get depressed, and you're,
Yep.
So, look, it's really that, just why not take control of, what you're doing? It's easy. Look, man, I know I can cook, dude. I bake like really good bread, and I do I can cook real well. So I'm like, it's fucking hard. It's hard. I'm not gonna lie. It's freaking hard. You gotta, it's right there. It's immediate satisfaction. But I'm gonna tell you that it still doesn't beat when people look at you and you're in fucking great shape, or you're down to weight. Those endorphins trump the, Cinnabon.
That's right.
And how you feel. So, you just need to replace what, that you just, the battle is just being bored and going to grab something to eat.
Yeah.
So start with, that 8 hour window. Start with, okay, dude, just eat meat, eat avocados, eat, if you can have some cheese if you want. You have butter, have vegetables, not a lot of fruit with the keto. But
you can throw some fucking nuts in there too. Nuts are always a good option.
Yeah, these nuts are good.
These nuts.
So yeah, man, you do those, and then an hour, get outside and walk. If you even just did a circuit of 10 push-ups, 10 squats, plank for 10 seconds, and then did that 10 times, that would be a fucking good workout. And then add that to, 10 edge of hands, 10 fucking chin jabs, 10 knees, and then 10 combinations, and then all of a sudden you're building into something,
Exactly.
right? And that's it. And then you're freaking done. Then you felt like you did something. So, again, if you guys, you post your comments, much appreciated. Don't forget, like and subscribe. And if you're on the training forum, post your comments there. We will respond within, 24 hours, depending on the time of day. Again, I want to thank you for joining us on behalf of George and myself. Until next time, train honestly.